Sir, generally, how to find that when we create the database manually, uh, we have to shift to the we have to change the directory to Oracle Home slash DBS like that. How to find out like that?
Okay, so that is manually you have to do that, or else once you create that one, okay, so
Okay.
you have to add the product. Okay. So whenever you create the database manually, so what happens? Usually when we create the database using DBC, so the entry will be added in the Oracle. Okay.
Okay.
And this Ora ENV, okay, is based on the Oracle. So now I have to run Oracle. So when I run Oracle and it asks for the Oracle CPI where and automatically it will set Oracle format path and Oracle home it will get from Oracle add-in.
Okay.
So that's when you create the database manually. The final step is you have to add the entry in the Oracle manually, like using VI. Okay. So let's say yeah. So here let's say I created a database like from text. Okay. So what I have to do, so I have to manually add after database creation test and you need to use the Oracle form. So you must be knowing which Oracle form you have used, right? So like you connect to the SQL plus after setting the path, right? So let's say right now, if you don't have anything, let's say there is no entry in Oracle, right? So how you connect to the SQL plus? You usually do like CD, usually one complete path like this. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah. So we will do like this and complete path. Okay. And you will run SQL plus. Uh, so initially, if there is no entry in, let's say there is no database. Okay. So there is no database created. So you cannot run for RTN during that time. Okay. So because what is the reason is you have all the Oracle binaries in this directory. Okay. So if you come here again, there is one variable. Okay, in Windows also you will see something. Like if you go to like the Windows, you can see my screen there.
Yes, sir.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, sir.
In Windows, okay, if you see, I went to the properties of system, advanced system settings, like you will have environment variables. Okay. In Windows also you have paths. Okay. What is the path? So usually path is nothing but the executables. When I say executables, like SQL plus DBC, ARM, experience. So these are all binary. Okay. So if you come to here, okay, in our system, okay, all the Oracle these binaries will be in this part. Okay, so whatever the while installation, okay, so it will ask some part like U01. So here in this directory it will create lot of folders. Go back, okay, in DB home if you see there will be lot of folders here. But in that there will be one directory called bin. Okay, cd bin, all of your executables will be there in this directory. Like it will be SQL plus SQL plus here it is lot UXPDP like this. So if path is not set, okay, now you see what is the value for path. It is, you can see path, okay, path is all binaries, okay, all the binaries. I give like lot of binaries because I can execute some binaries will be there in this, like if you say which CD, okay, which CD is in which in this directory. So some like which CH4 CPD. So there are two binaries which is like OS level binaries, and the binaries which are there for Oracle that will be in this part. So let's say I EXPD here. Now I got it. Okay. So what I'll do is unset. I will unset the path. Okay. So now see $4 path. Nothing is there. So let's run so I am in the bin directory. I am seeing it. Let's go to some other directory and see it gives no such file or directory. Because what when you run this, what Oracle means, what Unix, it's not Oracle. Any OS, what it will do is it is a executable, it is a binary. So it should know where to find that executable. So it will search all these things. Okay. So if you see the path is not there. Okay, if you see path before dollar path, nothing is there, right? Okay. So it can't execute this. It says no such file or directory. Now what I'll do, um, which significant no ch on in null. Okay, so which um, ls, okay, ls hyphen lrt. See, ls hyphen lrt is also not for me. You can see that. So this path is very important. So what I'll do is I need to set the path. So for setting the path, what I will do, I can set export. Export is the command to set the values for your variables. What I will export path is equal to, okay, so I will do complete this value. Okay. Now you'll be able to so now in this directory I am in the same directory. Okay. EXPDP control C and to know where is the text where it is. See, it is in bin. So which and give the command. So where the executable is located. So it will give that location. So whenever you want to execute any Oracle binary, like DB2, RE, SQL, okay, and EXPDP, okay, any of such things when you are trying to execute, okay. So one thing is you need to set the path. If you set the path, what happens? You can run the command from anywhere. So if you see, I am in home Oracle directory, present working directory, and in this directory. But whatever the ext data I executed, that is located in this action. Okay. So when I set the path up to here, so what Oracle user unit, any OS, if you run the command, so it will search that executable in all the options which I have given. And at the it was able to find in this, then it can run that. Otherwise, if you see here, I have unset, and when I unset, it says no switch file or directory with ch1. Completely I unset. There are few commands which will be executed from here, few commands from here, few from here. So there are a lot of bin directions. Okay, so that is why. Okay, so you have to, if you want to execute, if you want to run command from anywhere, you have to set the path. If the path is not set, what is the other option? You have to go to
Okay.
complete this directory and run the command. Okay, so that is what. Okay, so we set three things completely. SID when you want to connect Aura ENV, ORCL is there. So when we run this, so what Oracle will do? It will set all three things. Okay, Oracle home, echo, dollar, Oracle home. It's already set. It's $4. Path we already set this. So for the first time, okay, for the first time, when you install your software, okay, you don't have any database, right? You don't have any databases. So at that time, you cannot run this. Okay, you can run this, but here in Oratab, there won't be any entry. So if there is no entry, it cannot set the home and path. Okay. So in that case, so for the first time, what you have to do, you have to manually go to this directory and run the DBC. So once you run the DBC and create the database, so that entry will be added in the Oratab file. Okay. So once Oratab is there, at least one entry is there, then you can use that entry, okay, for setting the paths. Not only to connect to the database. Let's say I want to create one more database later. Okay. So next time, no need of going to complete this direct, right? Because you need to run the DBCA. That's it. So what you can do, you have to set the path. For setting the path, you can simply run Aura env and give any of the database name existing in your Aura tab. So once you give that, automatically it will set home and mainly path. Once the path is set, you can invoke the DBC name and create the database. Okay. But when it comes to the manual creation, okay. So manual creation, what process you do? You will connect to the SQL place. First thing is you create the parameter file in DBS location. Okay. Second thing is you need to connect to the SQL place and run the statement. So for that also you can set Aura env to like you have only 12C. Okay. So there is one database already created with 12C. So what you have to do? So you can just set Aura env to that existing database, then path will be set. Our main is path. Okay. Once the path is set, you can go to SQL plus SSD. So Oracle SID you have to set different. Okay. So once this Aura env is set, let's say Aura env, uh, you run. Okay. Dot Aura env you run with. Now ORCL is there. Go with ORCL. Then you overwrite that. Oracle underscore SID is equal to test. Okay. Then the home and path will be same. You did not change, right? Oracle home echo dollar path, because you that two will be same, right? Because the same location you will use and the same path you use. Only thing is SID will be different when you try to create a new database. Okay. So either you can set by this way, set ORINV to some database and rewrite with export. Okay. And set the value to test, and remaining you can leave. Or else you have to set completely all three paths using the export. So once you do that, Start up no more, create the database, run the two scripts, and final thing is you have to add the entry in the Oracle. Okay, because you, even if you not add also, you can run the database. But what happens every time you have to use export Oracle SID is equal to that test, export Oracle home is equal to that value, export path is equal to that value. Manually every time you have. But if you add the entry in Ora tab file, so with just dot Ora env, you can view the test and the remaining three variables will be set. Okay. So that entry is compulsory. Manual entry, okay, automatically Ora tab will not be updated when you create the database You got it or any
Yes, sir.
doubts in this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
So, so only thing you need to remember is Ora env. Three things. One thing you have to give as the input or accuracy, and based on that, it will set the home and path. And this will be dependent on the Ora tab file. Whatever the SID, if you mention, which is not in the Ora tab. Okay, if you see dot Ora env, I'll give test. So it cannot automatically set Oracle home because there is no entry of test in Oracle. So Oracle home is some value it is taking, and it could not take the actual value. But the same thing, if I run for ORCL, what it will do? See, it's automatically giving back my prompt. It is not asking for Oracle home and path because it was able to find the entry of ORCL in Oracle. From there, it was able to find Oracle home. So it will set Oracle home. And once Oracle home is set, it will automatically set the path. So Aura tab entry is made to run Aura env. Okay. So if there is no Aura tab entry, you cannot use Aura env. Aura env will run, but technically that can execute. But the values which you give, that won't be set if there is no entry in Aura tab. Okay. Yeah. So next is okay. So we were discussing about some performance training, right? So we discussed like basically you asked about the Opatch, I mean how to apply the patch, right, in the
Yes, sir.
database. So, mm, so okay. So, so, so in Oracle Home you have the directory called Opatch. Okay. So here you have a utility called, okay, Opatch. So if you see here Opatch, okay. So if you Opatch, so um, So this is the README file. So what you do is usually, so Opatch, mm, Opatch, so if you see Opatch, I can help will give the options. Okay. So the main thing is here when you are applying the patch, Opatch apply. Okay. So next is Opatch LS. Okay. So so it will show what all the patches applied on my database. So actually there are no patches applied so far. So that's why see it is like saying Oracle Home, Oracle Inventory. We discussed what, how, when you get a server, how you find out the database software is installed on it. So this is the location and this is where your inventory is there. And Opatch version and Oracle Universal Installer version, and this is the log file. So Opatch LS inventory will and Opatch LS patches also will show what all the patches applied on my database one. So if you see there are no patches applied on my database. Okay. So actually I don't have patch. Okay, probably today let me see if I can download the patch. If any patch you can download. Mm, No problem. So let me show the process actually. So whenever you apply the patch, okay, so the first thing is you have to shut down your databases. Okay, so whatever the database is using. So usually the patch will be on the Oracle binary. So let's say you're applying the patch on 12 to home. Okay. So then what you have to do, whatever the database is running on that version, on that form, so you have to shut down the database. Okay. So once you shut down the database, okay, so how you apply the patch is you apply the patch like generally you download the patch. Okay. So you will download the patch in some location. Let's say I downloaded the patch in like uh, so first thing is you have to set the path for Opatch because Opatch will be not there in the Oracle home bin. Okay. So for that, because that's why I'm executing dot forward slash. If I execute normal without dot, Opatch and this inventory is giving some error. So what I'll do is export path is equal to dollar path dollar Oracle home Opatch. Okay. So now it is working. So you can set, you add that Opatch also into your path so that what you do is next thing is, let's say I downloaded my patch in this directory. So let's say some 123. So go to that patch directory and what you will do is Opatch apply. Okay. So you have to go to that directory and apply the patch. It's not coming here. So I'll try if I download let's see. Hmm, okay. So what I'll here I'll go to patches and updates. Click on patches and updates. So you can either you can search for the patch name or patch number. Okay. So first of all I need to know 12.2.01.0 patch. Okay. What is the number of the patch? Okay. Support. Mhm. So let me search for the patches. Searches. Okay. Patch names from what is this patch? Okay. So database patch set update. These are all 12 ones actually. Mm, mhm. Mm, Product vehicle database installation release 12 to okay. So 12.2.01 DVRP patch 12.2.01 syllabus um, platform is um, so for every patch you will get the readme document. So you have to read compulsory follow the instructions because each some patches will have the different process. Okay, here if you see, okay, click on readme. Okay, it will show the process how to apply the patch. So here you can see this is the bug. Okay, for this bug, okay, you are before you install it, deinstall the patch. Okay, so these are the instructions. Opatch. Okay, ensure you set directory form variable path definition. Okay, so all these things you have to follow, and here you can see go to the directory, and this is to check the prerequisites. And once you check the prerequisites, just give the Opatch apply. And once apply, you can check Opatch LS inventory and start your database again. So rollback is like this. So I need to download this 12 to we don't have this PHC patch anywhere. Let's go to here. Okay, let's 11 to 5. Like we did this 12 to Data child update was no. So, database Jan 2020 release. This is 20 07 14. Reading. Just a second. Just a second. Yeah, so you can see here, so document is Opatch, installer, loading, install, update the version of the Oracle Home Master database install. Okay, so let's download. So this is 34 MB. Okay, so let it download. So I'll see whether I can transform. Okay, so once you get usually the patches for Oracle for every quarter. Okay, we call that as patch set update. Okay, so the patch set update, like you'll get like Jan, okay, then April, then July, then I think uh, July, September, October, and then I think, yeah, October. So for every quarter, okay, so in a year, Oracle releases 4 patches. We call that as patch set update. So in that you'll have like bundle of patches, okay, not one patch. And there are other type of patches called one-off patch. So one-off patch means sometimes you hit a bug, okay, Oracle Okay, so your database won't be always uh, perfect, right? So you will face some issues. Okay, usually when you face a issue, okay, so you can, if you have Oracle support, so we'll contact the Oracle support. Okay, sometimes there will be a resolution, but sometimes they find that it's a bug. So it means the product itself has some bug. So what Oracle will do means Oracle will create a patch for that bug. Okay, it's only for specific that bug, and they will release like the patch, and that kind of patches we call as one-off patches. Okay, and this one-off patches, okay, the process of applying one-off patches also will be same. Okay, so just download the patch, put the patch in some location, you will get usually zip file, unzip that, and then set the path, bring the database down, and apply the patch. Okay, so that's how so the process. And always you need to go through the readme file, even in real time also, who are experienced, because sometimes what happens, the patch process may differ sometimes. Okay, so that's why you have to make sure, okay, so you are following the readme process, because let's say if you did not follow the readme and you upload the patch and you face some issue, okay, and whatever the process you followed may not be same as the process which is provided in the document. So if you see here, you will get the README, right? So we have the README. So here you can see complete installation, patch pre-installation. So what we have to do before the pre-installation, so they'll ask to set all these directories, okay, and unzip all these things, okay. So patch installation, okay, patch post installation. So if you are rack environment, how to do that? If you're data guard, how you do that? So that you will see complete. This is the processor. So if it's a standalone database, this is the post steps. If you see, come here, after applying the patch, post installation instructions, something you have to do at the database level also. Connect to database and run this data patch. If it is a multi-tenant, single multi-tenant maybe, so connect and start up pluggable database all open quick and like this. Okay, so and for rname, okay, the catalog needs to be upgraded. And deinstallation, suppose let's say you don't want, you upload the patch, maybe you face the issue during applying the patch, then what you can do is you can roll back the patch. So Opatch rollback, give the patch number. Okay. So then it will post deinstallation. So the same. Okay. So that we'll see. Okay, once we get the patch, let's see if I can move that to the VM or not. So if I can move, we can apply this patch. Okay, in the database. Okay. So simple.
Yes.
Yeah. So one important thing, okay, you can do is before applying the patch, you take the better to take the backup of the Oracle. That is also good actually. Okay. So because what happens, let's say while you are applying the patch, one important thing is wherever your Oracle software is there, you need to have enough space. Okay, at least okay, make sure you have the 50% free space. Okay, in the mount point, wherever your Oracle home is there on that mount point, make sure you have at least 50% of free space, because sometimes what happens, if there is no space, patch will fail. Okay, so when it fails in the middle, so what happens, your binaries will get, okay, corrupted sometimes. So that's why the other safest thing is, what you can do is take the backup of your Oracle home. Okay, backup in the sense just cp command. So what you do, copy all of the files which are in this directory into some other safe location. Okay, so in case if it gets corrupted, okay, during in the middle, okay, so it applied half and then it failed due to some issue, maybe like some space issue or something like that. So what happens, it will be corrupted and you cannot open the database, you cannot even try to run your binaries sometime. So what you do, so just cp and give this directory, then some db backup, any other location. Okay, so copy that old directory into that some other location and then you can start applying the patch. This is one of the safest side. Okay, in case if patch fails and if a binaries gets corrupted, so you can again copy that complete binaries into your old path. Okay, so the only few things, download the patch, Opatch, bring the databases down, apply the patch, and then post installation will be there. Okay, so that will do once we have the patch. Okay, so today we'll stop. So tomorrow, I'll try by today. We'll put try to put the patch. If I get VMware should be there. Okay, then we can do that, and remaining like performance tuning. So AWR report, I'll tell you tomorrow. AWR, okay, it's a big topic, so I don't want to start now. Okay.
Okay, sir. Can you please send me the script, sir? Because while I'm practicing,
Yeah.
I am facing some difficulty.
Mm, okay. There, let me be super. You got in the chat window. Just see. No?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So my new DB, you can give database name anything. Sys password, ORCL, Oracle. Okay, and make sure these directory structures are there. Okay, directory is there. If not, you have to create those things. Okay, the rest all will be fine. Okay.
Okay, sir. And one more thing is at catpro is there, no, sir? Catpro dot
Yeah.
SQL.
Yeah. So the location you want.
Yeah.
So that will be all of the scripts Oracle Home RDBMS admin. Okay. So most of the scripts will be there in this. Yep. You have put here Oracle Home. You have to the path. You have to set Oracle Home using already existing database. Then you can go here. You can find a lot of files. So just search for catfrog.sql. Catfrog.sql. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So if you get the chance, just show me what is your work. Okay.
Yeah.
Based on that.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
Right?
sure, sure, sir.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.